Chosen one, God says this cannot wait. His voice is calling you right now, and the message burning in your soul is about to change everything. You feel it, don't you? That pull, that whisper, that unshakable knowing deep within that something massive is shifting. This is not a coincidence. This is a divine moment, a sacred appointment where heaven itself is speaking directly to you. God has a plan so extraordinary, so urgent, that it demands your attention today. Are you ready to hear what he's saying? Stay with me, because this message will ignite your spirit and set your life on a path you never imagined. You are not ordinary. You never were. God didn't create you to blend into the noise of the world or to live a life of quiet survival. No, chosen one, you are forged in the fire of divine purpose. Think about it. Why do you feel different? Why do certain moments in your life, even the painful ones, seem to carry a weight that others don't understand? It's because God has marked you for something greater. His voice is clear today, saying, "This cannot wait." Your calling is not a distant dream. It's unfolding now, in this very moment, and the transformation he's prepared for you is already in motion. Picture a seed buried deep in the earth. It sits in darkness, surrounded by pressure, yet it's destined to break through the soil and bloom into something magnificent. That's you, chosen one. Every struggle, every tear, every moment of doubt has been the soil preparing you for this breakthrough. God says your time of waiting is over. The gates of your destiny are opening, and the light of his promise is pouring through. You're not just surviving, you're about to thrive in ways that will leave the world in awe. Your life is about to become a living testament to his power. But here's the truth. God's message isn't just about what's coming, it's about who you're becoming. This urgency, this divine call, is reshaping you from the inside out. You're not the same person you were yesterday. The old fears, the old doubts, the old chains, they're falling away. God is renewing your mind, your heart, and your spirit. You might not see it fully yet, but others will. They'll notice the fire in your eyes, the strength in your step, the peace that radiates from you. This is what it means to be chosen. This is why God says it cannot wait. Pause for a moment and let this sink in. You're standing at a crossroads, and God is pointing you toward a path of abundance. Not just wealth, but a richness of spirit, purpose, and impact. The Bible says in Jeremiah 29:11, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." That promise is alive in you today. God's plan is not a maybe, it's a certainty. And he's calling you to step into it with boldness, to claim what's yours, to walk in the destiny he's written for you. Now, I need you to do something. Hit that like button to send this energy into the universe. Subscribe to join thousands of chosen one souls who are awakening to their divine purpose. And in the comments, type 777 to declare that you're ready for what God has in store. These actions aren't just clicks. They're a signal to heaven that you're listening, that you're ready to receive. Stay with me, because what's coming next will shake you to your core. God's voice is urgent because the world needs you now. Look around. People are lost, searching for hope, drowning in fear. But you, chosen one, carry a light that pierces the darkness. Your presence alone can shift atmospheres. Have you ever noticed how people are drawn to you? How they lean in when you speak? How they feel calmer in your presence? That's not an accident. That's God's Spirit moving through you. He's saying, "This cannot wait," because your purpose is tied to others. Your breakthrough will spark theirs. Your courage will inspire a generation. Think of Moses standing before the burning bush. God didn't wait for him to feel ready. He spoke, and Moses had to listen. The task was daunting, leading a nation out of slavery, but God's voice carried an urgency that couldn't be ignored. You're in a similar moment. The burning bush is in front of you, and God is saying, "Take off your sandals. for the place where you are standing is holy ground. Exodus 3:5. This is your holy ground, your moment to step into the divine assignment that's been waiting for you. What's holding you back? Maybe it's fear. Maybe it's the weight of past mistakes. Maybe it's the voices of those who say you can't do it. But hear this. God's voice is louder. His truth is stronger. He's saying, I've chosen you, and I don't make mistakes. The doubts that once held you captive are crumbling. The chains that bound you are breaking. You're stepping into a season where the impossible becomes possible, where dreams you buried start rising from the ground. Let's talk about what this urgency means for your life. God isn't just promising blessings. He's promising transformation. Your health, your finances, your relationships, they're all about to shift. Imagine waking up each day with a fire in your heart, knowing that every step you take is guided by divine purpose. Picture your body renewed, your mind clear, your spirit unshakable. This is what God is offering you. Not tomorrow, not next year, but right now. His voice is clear. This cannot wait. The world might try to tell you to slow down, to play it safe, to stay small. But God is saying the opposite. He's calling you to rise, to expand, to claim the space He's prepared for you. You're not just a dreamer. You're a doer. You're not just a believer. You're a vessel of His power. The Bible reminds us in Ephesians 3:20 that God is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to His power that is at work within us. That power is working in you now, chosen one, and it's time to act on it. Have you ever felt a stirring in your soul, a sense that something bigger is waiting? That's God speaking. That's His urgency breaking through. He's not asking you to figure it all out on your own. He's asking you to trust Him, to follow His voice, to step into the unknown with faith. The path ahead might look unclear, but every step you take is illuminated by His light. You're not walking alone. He's already gone before you, preparing the way. Let's pause again. If this message is hitting your heart, if you feel God's voice stirring within you, take a moment to hit that like button and subscribe to join thousands of chosen one souls walking this journey. Type 777 in the comments to claim this moment as yours. These actions are your declaration to the universe that you're ready to step into God's plan. Don't rush past this. Let it sink in. You're not just watching a video, you're answering a divine call. Now, let's talk about the fire God is igniting in you. This urgency isn't just about receiving blessings, it's about becoming a force. You're not here to sit on the sidelines. You're here to change lives, to shift destinies, to carry God's light into places of darkness. Think of David facing Goliath. The world saw a giant, but David saw an opportunity for God's power to shine. That same courage lives in you. That same fire burns in your spirit. God is saying, this cannot wait, because the world needs your strength now. Your life is a canvas, and God is painting a masterpiece. Every trial you've faced, every tear you've shed, every moment you thought you couldn't go on, it's all part of the picture. The struggles weren't meant to break you, they were meant to shape you. Now, as you stand on the edge of this divine moment, God is adding new colors, vibrant hues of purpose, joy, and abundance. Your story isn't over, it's just beginning. And the next chapter is going to take your breath away. What does it mean to listen right now? It means opening your heart to God's voice. It means letting go of the doubts that have held you back. It means trusting that the Creator of the universe has a plan for you that's bigger than your wildest dreams. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to see the whole path. All you need is faith to take the next step. God's voice is clear. This cannot wait. Your destiny is calling, and it's time to answer. Imagine a river flowing endlessly, carrying life to everything it touches. That's God's provision for you. It's not a trickle, it's a flood. It's not a one-time gift. It's an unending stream. Your finances, your health, your relationships, your purpose, they're all being swept up in this divine current. You don't have to chase it. You don't have to beg for it. It's already yours. God is saying, step into the river. Let it carry you. This is the moment to trust, to surrender, to let His power move through you. The urgency of God's message is a reminder that time is precious. You've spent too long doubting yourself, questioning your worth, wondering if you're enough. But God is saying, you are enough. You always were. The Bible tells us in Psalm 139:14, I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. You are His creation, chosen one, and He doesn't make mistakes. The gifts He's placed in you, the dreams in your heart, the fire in your spirit, they're all part of His divine design. Let's talk about what happens when you answer this call. The moment you say yes to God's urgency, everything shifts. Doors that were closed swing open. Opportunities you never imagined start appearing. People who doubted you begin to see your light. Your life becomes a beacon, a testimony to God's faithfulness. You're not just living for yourself anymore. You're living for His glory, for His purpose, for the lives you're destined to touch. Have you ever seen a sunrise after a long, dark night? That's what this moment is for you. The darkness is fading and God's light is breaking through. His voice is clear, His message is urgent, and His plan is unstoppable. You're not just a spectator in this story. You're the main character. The world is watching, waiting to see what a chosen one can do when they fully embrace God's call. Are you ready to show them? This isn't about chasing success or fighting for scraps. This is about stepping into a divine inheritance. God's provision isn't limited by the world's economy or the opinions of others. His abundance is infinite, and it's flowing toward you now. Picture a table set before you, overflowing with blessings, peace, joy, purpose, wealth, health. It's not a dream, it's a promise, and God is saying, this cannot wait. Come to the table, take your place. Now let's get real for a moment. The enemy will try to distract you. Doubt will creep in. Fear will whisper lies. But here's the truth. No weapon formed against you will prosper. Isaiah 54:17. God's voice is louder than the noise. His power is greater than any obstacle. When you feel the weight of the world, remember this. You are chosen, you are protected, and you are unstoppable. The enemy's tricks are no match for God's plan. What's the next step? It's simple. Listen. Open your heart to God's voice. Let His words guide you. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to be perfect. All you need is faith the size of a mustard seed, and God will move mountains. Matthew 17:20. This is your moment, chosen one. This is the time to rise, to shine, to step into the fullness of who you were created to be. Imagine standing on a mountaintop, looking out at a world transformed by your courage. That's where God is taking you. Not to a place of struggle, but to a place of victory. Not to a life of lack, but to a life of abundance. His voice is urgent because your purpose is urgent. The world needs your light, your strength, your love. And God is saying, this cannot wait. You were born for this. Every step you take from this moment forward is a step into destiny. You're not walking blindly, you're walking with God. His hand is on you, His Spirit is in you, and His plan is unfolding before you. The Bible says in Romans 8:31, if God is for us, who can be against us? No one, chosen one. No one can stand in the way of what God has ordained for you. This is your time to rise. Let's pause one more time. If this message is setting your soul on fire, hit that like button to amplify this truth. Subscribe to join thousands of chosen one souls stepping into their divine calling. Type 777 in the comments to declare that you're claiming God's urgent message. These aren't just actions, they're your commitment to the journey ahead. Stay with me, because we're just getting started. God's urgency is a call to action. It's not enough to hear His voice, you have to respond. Think of Noah building the ark. The world laughed, but he kept working. He trusted God's voice over the noise of doubt. You're in a similar moment. The world might not understand your path, but God does. He's calling you to build something extraordinary, a life that reflects His glory, a legacy that will outlive you. What does it look like to answer this call? It's not about grand gestures or perfect plans. It's about small, faithful steps. It's about saying yes to God every day, even when it's hard. It's about trusting that He's working behind the scenes, even when you can't see it. Every prayer you pray, every act of faith, every moment of obedience, it's all building something eternal. You might be wondering, why me? Why now? The answer is simple, because God chose you. Before you were born, He knew you. Jeremiah 1:5. He saw every moment of your life, the highs, the lows, the victories, the failures, and He said, "This one is mine." You're not here by accident. You're here because God has a purpose that only you can fulfill. And He's saying, this cannot wait. Let's talk about the transformation that's coming. When you answer God's call, your life doesn't just change, it becomes a miracle. Your health will reflect His healing. Your finances will reflect His provision. Your relationships will reflect His love. People will look at you and say, "What happened? How are you so different?" And you'll know the answer. God happened. His voice broke through and you listened. Picture a caterpillar in its cocoon. It doesn't know what's happening, but something miraculous is taking shape. That's you right now, chosen one. You're in the cocoon of God's plan, and He's transforming you into something breathtaking. The world might not see it yet, but soon they will. Your wings are forming, and when you emerge, you'll soar. God's voice is urgent because your transformation can't wait. The enemy will try to make you doubt this. He'll whisper that you're not ready, that you're not worthy, that this is too big for you. But God's voice is louder. He says, "You are ready. You are worthy. This is exactly what I created you for." The Bible tells us in 2 Timothy 1:7, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." That power is in you now, chosen one. Claim it. What pattern recognition? What does it mean to live in God's urgency? It means walking in faith, knowing that every step you take is guided by His hand. It means trusting that His timing is perfect, even when the path feels uncertain. It means believing that the blessings He's promised are already on their way. You're not just hoping for a breakthrough, you're living in the promise of it. God's voice is clear, and His plan is unstoppable. This is your moment, chosen one. The urgency of God's message is a fire in your soul, a call to rise up and claim your destiny. You're not here to play small, you're here to shine, to lead, to transform. The world is waiting for you to step into who you were created to be. Don't let fear hold you back. Don't let doubt dim your light. God is saying, this cannot wait. And He's right. Your time is now. Imagine a door standing before you, glowing with divine light. That's the door to your future, and God is holding it open. All you have to do is walk through. It won't be easy. There will be challenges, moments of doubt, times when the path feels steep. But every step you take is a step toward the life God has promised. You're not walking alone. His strength is in you. His voice is guiding you. His love is carrying you. Let's talk about what's on the other side of that door. It's not just a life of abundance. It's a life of purpose. It's a life where your gifts are unleashed, where your dreams come alive, where your impact ripples through generations. God's urgency is about more than just you. It's about the lives you'll touch, the hearts you'll inspire, the world you'll change. This is why it cannot wait. Have you ever felt like you were made for more? That's because you were. God didn't create you to settle for less. He created you to rise, to soar, to shine. The stirring in your heart, the fire in your spirit, that's His voice calling you to step into your calling. The Bible says in Isaiah 61, "Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you." That glory is rising in you now, chosen one. Don't hold back. This message is burning with urgency because God's plan is unfolding now. You're not waiting for a miracle, you're living in one. Every moment you choose faith over fear, every time you say yes to God's voice, you're stepping closer to the life He's prepared for you. The world might try to pull you back, but God is pulling you forward. His voice is clear. This cannot wait. Picture yourself standing in a vast field, surrounded by endless possibilities. The wind carries God's voice, whispering your name, calling you to run toward your destiny. You don't need to know every detail of the journey. You just need to trust the one who's leading you. Every step you take is a step into His promise, a step into His power, a step into the life you were born to live. The urgency of God's message is a reminder that you are chosen for a reason. You carry a light that the world needs, a strength that can move mountains, a purpose that will change lives. This isn't about chasing fleeting success. It's about claiming an eternal legacy. God's voice is calling you to rise, to shine, to be the chosen one He created you to be. And He's saying, this cannot wait. Let's dive deeper into this divine urgency, chosen one, because God's voice is not just a whisper, it's a roar, shaking the foundations of your life. You're standing on the edge of something monumental, a shift so profound it will redefine everything you thought you knew. God is saying, this cannot wait, because the power He's placed in you is ready to break free. You're not just a vessel, you're a force, a beacon of His glory, and the world is about to see what happens when you fully step into His call. Think of a river carving its way through stone. It doesn't rush or force its path. It flows with relentless purpose, shaping the landscape over time. That's you right now. God's plan is moving through you, steady and unstoppable, cutting through every obstacle in your way. The doubts, the fears, the limitations, they're being worn down by the current of His purpose. You're not fighting against the stone. You're letting God's power flow through you, reshaping your life into something eternal. Have you ever noticed how certain moments feel heavier, like they carry a divine weight? That's God speaking, marking this season as yours. His urgency is a signal that the time for hesitation is over. You've spent years preparing, growing, enduring. Every challenge was a lesson, every setback a setup for something greater. Now the stage is set, and God is saying, step forward. Your moment is here. The Bible reminds us in Ecclesiastes 3:1, there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. This is your season, chosen one. What does it look like to answer this urgent call? It's not about chasing grand gestures or forcing outcomes. It's about aligning your heart with God's will. It's about waking up each day and saying, I'm ready, Lord. Show me the way. It's about trusting that every small step you take is part of a divine design, leading you to a future that shines with His glory. You don't need to see the whole picture. Just trust the one who's painting it. Picture a flame flickering in the darkness. It doesn't need to shout to be seen. Its quiet glow draws eyes from miles away. That's the power God has placed in you. Your light doesn't need to be loud to be effective. Your presence, your faith, your obedience, they shine brighter than you realize. People are watching, chosen one. They're drawn to the fire in your soul, the peace in your spirit, the strength in your steps. God's urgency is calling you to let that light burn brighter than ever. The world will try to dim your flame. It will throw distractions, doubts, even chaos your way. But God's voice cuts through the noise. He's saying, "This cannot wait," because your light is meant to pierce the darkness now. Think of Esther, standing before a king to save her people. She didn't feel ready, but God's timing was perfect. Her courage changed history. You're in an Esther moment, chosen one. Your courage, your faith, your yes to God. It's about to change everything. Let's pause for a moment. If this message is stirring your soul, hit that like button to amplify this truth. Subscribe to join thousands of chosen one souls embracing their divine purpose. Type 777 in the comments to declare that you're ready for God's urgent call. These actions are your commitment to the journey, a signal to heaven that you're listening. Stay with me, because God's message is only getting louder. Now let's talk about the strength God is building in you. This urgency isn't just about blessings. It's about preparing you for battle. Not a battle of flesh and blood, but a spiritual one. The Bible says in Ephesians 6:12, "For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the powers of this dark world." You're not fighting people or circumstances. You're standing against forces that want to keep you small. But God is saying, "You're stronger than you know, and I'm with you." Every trial you've faced has been training. Every moment of pain has been a forge, shaping you into a warrior of light. God's urgency is a call to pick up your armor, not to fight in fear, but to stand in faith. You're not defenseless. You carry His Spirit, His power, His love. When you walk into a room, darkness trembles. When you speak, lies are exposed. When you trust God, miracles happen. This is why His voice is urgent, because your strength is needed now. Imagine a tree standing tall in a storm. Its roots dig deep, unshaken by the wind. That's you, chosen one. Your roots are in God's truth, and no storm can uproot you. The world might rage, but you stand firm. Your faith is your foundation, your trust is your strength, and God's voice is your guide. He's saying, "This cannot wait," because the world needs trees like you, steady, strong, and full of life. What's on the horizon? A life of impact. God isn't just transforming you for your own sake. He's preparing you to transform others. Your story, your journey, your faith. It's a ripple that will touch lives you may never meet. Think of the woman at the well in John 4. One encounter with Jesus changed her life, and she went on to change her entire community. That's the kind of impact God is calling you to. His urgency is about the lives waiting for your light. You might feel small, but God sees you as mighty. You might feel unprepared, but God says you're equipped. His voice is urgent because your purpose is urgent. The dreams in your heart, the gifts in your hands, the fire in your spirit, they're not random. They're divine tools, crafted by God to build something eternal. Every time you choose faith, you're laying a brick in the foundation of His plan. Let's talk about the beauty of God's timing. His urgency doesn't mean you're behind. It means you're exactly where you need to be. Every delay, every detour, every moment of waiting was part of His preparation. Now, the pieces are falling into place. The Bible says in Habakkuk 2:3, "The vision awaits its appointed time. It hastens to the end. It will not lie." Your vision, your purpose, your breakthrough, it's here. And God is saying, don't wait another moment. Picture a dawn breaking after a long night. The first rays of light don't just chase away the darkness. They reveal a world full of color and life. That's what God's urgency is doing in you. It's not just ending your struggles, it's revealing the beauty of His plan. Your life is about to burst with color, with purpose, with joy. You're not just surviving the night, you're stepping into a new day. The enemy will try to make you doubt this. He'll point to your past, your mistakes, your fears. But God's voice is louder. I've redeemed you. I've called you by name. You are mine. Isaiah 43:1. You're not defined by what you've done. You're defined by who God says you are. And He says you're chosen, you're loved, you're unstoppable. His urgency is a reminder that your past is not your future. What does it mean to live in this urgency? It's about moving forward with purpose. It's about trusting God's voice over the noise of the world. It's about knowing that every step you take is guided by His hand. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to listen, to trust, to act. God's plan is unfolding, and He's calling you to be part of something bigger than yourself. Imagine a symphony, each note building toward a crescendo. Your life is part of God's masterpiece, and every moment is a note in His divine composition. The urgency in His voice is the conductor's baton, signaling that the climax is near. You're not just playing a small part, you're a vital piece of the melody, a sound that will echo through eternity. God is saying, this cannot wait, because the world needs to hear your song. Let's pause again. If this message is setting your heart ablaze, hit that like button to share this fire. Subscribe to join thousands of chosen one souls stepping into God's plan. Type 777 in the comments to claim this divine moment. These actions are your way of saying yes to God's urgency, of standing firm in His call. Stay with me, because we're about to go deeper. Now, let's talk about the legacy you're building. God's urgency isn't just about today. It's about the generations that will follow, your faith, your courage, your obedience. They're not just for you, they're for your children, your community, the world. Think of Abraham, who trusted God's promise and became the father of nations. His yes to God's call didn't just change his life, it changed history. Your yes will do the same. You might not see the full impact of your choices today, but God does. Every prayer you pray, every step you take, every act of faith, it's planting seeds that will grow long after you're gone. The Bible says in Psalm 112, verse 2, "Their children will be mighty in the land. The generation of the upright will be blessed." Your legacy is eternal, chosen one. And God's urgency is calling you to start building it now. What does this legacy look like? It's not just about wealth or fame. It's about love that transforms, faith that inspires, courage that endures. It's about leaving a mark on the world that points to God's glory. You're not just living for yourself. You're living for those who will look to your life and say, if God did it for them, He can do it for me. That's the power of your calling. The urgency of God's voice is a reminder that time is a gift. You don't have to rush, but you can't afford to wait. Every moment you spend doubting is a moment stolen from your destiny. God is saying, step forward now. Trust me now. Shine now. The world is waiting for you to show what's possible when a chosen one answers God's call. Picture a lighthouse standing firm against crashing waves. It doesn't move, doesn't falter, doesn't dim. That's you, chosen one. Your light guides others through the storm. Your faith anchors you in the chaos. God's urgency is calling you to stand tall, to shine brighter, to be the beacon the world needs. You're not just surviving, you're leading others to safety. The enemy will try to make you feel small, but God's voice says you're mighty. The world might try to drown you out, but God's truth says you're heard. Every step you take in faith is a declaration that you're chosen, that you're called, that you're unstoppable. The Bible reminds us in Philippians 4:13, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." That strength is in you now, chosen one. What happens when you fully embrace this urgency? Your life becomes a miracle in motion. Doors open that you didn't even know existed. Opportunities flow that you couldn't have planned. People are drawn to you not because of what you do, but because of who you are. A vessel of God's light, a carrier of His love, a warrior of His truth. This is why His voice is urgent, because your impact can't wait. Imagine a garden, once barren, now bursting with life. That's what God is doing in you. The seeds of faith you've planted, The prayers you've prayed, the trust you've shown, they're taking root. The harvest is coming, and it's going to be abundant. Your life is about to overflow with blessings, not because you earned them, but because God promised them. His urgency is a sign that the harvest is near. Let's talk about the freedom that comes with this call. When you answer God's voice, you're not just stepping into purpose, you're stepping into peace. The weight of worry lifts. The burden of fear falls away. You don't have to strive or struggle anymore. God's plan is unfolding, and all you have to do is walk in it. The Bible says in John 8:36, "If the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed." That freedom is yours now, chosen one. The urgency of God's message is a reminder that you're not alone. He's with you, guiding you, strengthening you. Every step you take is a step toward His promise. Every moment you trust is a moment closer to your breakthrough. You're not just chasing a dream, you're living in God's reality. His voice is clear, His plan is certain, and His power is unstoppable. Picture a warrior standing on a battlefield, not with weapons, but with light. That's you, chosen one. You don't fight with anger or fear. You fight with faith. You don't battle with force. You battle with truth. God's urgency is calling you to take your place, to stand firm, to let your light shine. The world is watching, and your victory will show them what's possible when God is on your side.